Hi everyone. Well, this is a special announcement, and I'm going to do this in English, even though you guys might be Danish or Swedish or whatever, because this training that I'm going to talk about with my best friend here, Steve Roehm, is going to be so profound because nobody's seen anything like this in Denmark, Sweden, or Norway until now. So definitely, Steve, welcome to joining me to this conversation about the conversational hypnosis.
Glad to be here.
And just a couple of facts about you. NLP master practitioner, handpicked by Igor Ledochowski himself to do, trainings and continue his work with conversational hypnosis.
Right.
That is just to mention some of the stuff you've done. And I've been lucky to know you since 2008, and we've done trainings together. And it's really a privilege to be able to invite you to Denmark to do the conversational hypnosis. So I'm excited about that.
I am as well. I've never been to Denmark, so this will be new for me too.
It will be amazing.
But yeah, no, I'm definitely excited about bringing the conversational hypnosis training to Denmark because it's never been done there before. Especially with me coming in and teaching it and kind of giving my twist on Igor's protocol.
Exactly.
So. Yeah, no, it's going to be a blast. I can't wait.
And one of the most, I think, important things about this is, I know a lot of hypnosis work and techniques. I've known you from before you actually learned the conversational stuff also, and you thought you knew almost everything about this. And still, in spite of that, when you came back from learning this, you said, well, we need to talk because this is a brand new dimension. So no matter what I thought I knew before I learned this, right. This is definitely something, that's so brilliant. So that's why I wanted to talk with you today.
Well, the beautiful thing about this whole protocol is that it basically teaches you the foundation of everything. Just like your speed induction protocol, because it breaks down the components of what is actually in every single speed induction there is. And it's exactly what we're doing with the conversational hypnosis training, because you're learning the foundation behind every induction, you're learning the foundation behind every session, and we teach people how to actually do the work without having a script in their hand. Because you and I both have been to trainings in the past where we've been given that thick book, here, go read this to people, and charge them $150 an hour. I never felt good about that, because anybody can read to anybody. But real hypnosis happens in a conversation. It's about being in rapport with people and having connection with people. And some of the things that we're going to be teaching during the training is some of the things that Igor calls the non-awareness set, where you're actually utilizing unconscious movements, unconscious processes to help guide people into a trance and help guide them to make changes. We get into mind-bending language, which is it's my favorite part because I enjoy messing with people. So the mind-bending language is really fun. But the purpose isn't to be just fun. It's really to help open people's minds to new possibilities. So we utilize that technique to send people into what we call the trance of infinite possibilities, where they can tap into resources they didn't have access to before. We get into reintegration, where we're in, and you've been probably familiar with parts therapy.
Exactly.
Well, this is the foundation of parts therapy. This is exactly what we're doing, and it's teaching actually what's happening in parts therapy. So you can apply that in any different way you want to. So I love the whole thing of this because it breaks it down into components. And once the training is over, you can take those components and they're interchangeable. You can put them together in a lot of different ways. But you have to learn the foundation work first.
And before we go a little bit more into depth with all the opportunities that you have in this conversational hypnosis, we do have there's two segments that could apply for this training. We have those who might not have done any hypnotic work before. Right. And we have all those who's actually already doing hypnotherapy and hypnosis on various levels. So let's begin with them. What can they gain from this kind of training?
Well, as far as people who've already have training, it's going to teach you a whole new way of approaching your work. I've been practicing hypnosis for 10 years before I finally found Igor, or really got into his work. And when I came home from that first training, I was completely blown away because I was so used to having this cookie cutter process where you do this, 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 and that's what I was used to doing, and everything was easy that way, you know. But when I came back from that first training with Igor, what I had was the ability to actually have a conversation with my clients and to connect with them on a much deeper level. So we're starting to introduce and affect change in people just through the normal conversation, through waking trance. And then we can get into formal trances and start to do work like that. Because even in my office, I still apply, traditional work as well. But having this new toolbox, and it really is a toolbox, it gives you the ability to apply this work in so many different ways and approach the problem from so many different ways, which you can't do if you're reading a script or if you're stuck to this protocol and this is what I have to do and this is the way this works. And I found that the results that I'm getting right now from my clients is just skyrocketed. I've gotten to the point now where I'm getting 95% success on stop smoking sessions with people. And I never had that before I was doing the conversational work. I was getting maybe 60, 70% at best. But applying these techniques to it has really changed everything for me.
And we're talking first session, right?
First session, yeah. Yeah, and I felt over 2,300 people quit smoking. So I had a chance in the beginning to try out a lot of different techniques. And adding these components to it changed everything for me. But you mentioned, new people, people who've been through training. Honestly,
a quick question, because what I thought about was if you look back on how everything started with you doing hypnosis, and if you got to choose right now if you would do the same thing over again, or if you would learn the conversational stuff and then add on some of the traditional stuff, knowing what you know now, in which way would you want to start?
Hands down, I would go with the conversational work first.
Okay.
Because, you're learning the foundation of everything else. See, because once you learn the conversational work, you can go pick up any script book you want. You can go to YouTube and watch any induction, and you know what's happening. Yeah. So, again, you're not stuck to a script. You're not stuck to this cookie cutter thing. It gives you so much flexibility. And the beautiful thing about the conversational work is you start with a bit of awkwardness because it really is an awkward experience to go through the training because I've really kind of pushed people to their limits. It's a very much immersion training where people are doing the work through the entire training. And in fact, people are going to be hypnotizing folks the first day. And I know you do that in your trainings as well. But there's no doubt if I could go back and start all over, I would go back with the conversational work and then go into the other work because I would have understood it so much better.
Cool.
Yeah.
And same thing, if you got all the other stuff, the background as the traditional stuff, MGH, IACT, whatever, and all of that, like the cookie cutter process that you talked about,
right.
You might still understand way more about what you have been doing so far when you know this kind of protocol, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah, whether you're coming into this new and you know nothing about hypnosis, which is really what I prefer, because we don't have to break down the old limiting ideas you had from previous trainings that somebody instilled in you and said, oh, you have to do it like this. Yeah. So I like new people. But people coming into it will definitely benefit if, whether you've been working for a year or 15, 20, 30 years in hypnosis. I guarantee you can benefit from this training. In fact, I do guarantee it. There's money back guarantee all the way through the second day. If you make it through lunch on the second day, if you don't like the training, if you don't like me, I'll give you your check back and you can go home. And no hard feelings, couldn't care less. But I've never had anybody walk out of my training yet because they see the possibilities and the potential with this work. And but the guarantee's there, so you really have nothing to lose. If anybody who's coming to this training, they have nothing to lose at all. All you have to do is come in, take a week off work, and come have a great time with us because we're going to have a good time. Because you and I have talked together before, so.
And I guess it must really be a privilege for you to be handpicked by Igor and be one of the closest ones to learn this. this tool and this way of doing hypnosis. Do you know the story about how he actually just sat down and kind of developed all of this? From what background did he actually put everything together?
Well, he was an attorney for a long time and really kind of got burnt out on being an attorney. He was actually an attorney at the second largest law firm in London. And when you think about the second largest law firm in London, you're really talking about the second largest law firm in the world. It's a huge place to be in, but it wasn't for him. And he had learned some self-hypnosis skills for himself and really understood that this is how the benefit could help him. But he decided he wanted to teach executives. He wanted to coach them. Now, you can't go into an executive with a watch and swing it in front of their face because they're going to laugh you out of the room. But if you could go in there and you can do the work conversationally and guide people into change without them even being aware that they're going into trance, you get so much more work done that way because there's no resistance between people. And really, that's where it all started. He wanted to coach executives, but he didn't want to scare them away. So he started studying the foundational work of everything and what drives these induction, what drives these sessions. What components are in these things that is actually creating change within someone and guiding them to make the change. And that's basically the foundation of conversational work. It goes back to Ericksonian hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming components in there as well. Some traditional work in there. I know for a fact that Igor has studied neuro-linguistic programming. He's a master practitioner of Ericksonian hypnosis. He's been around the world, much like you and I have. But he took the time to really sit down and break everything down and put this protocol together that's easily accessible to anybody who wants to learn how to do it. But it's sophisticated enough that you're never going to fully master it. You can continue to grow with this work for years to come. And I've been studying this work for 6 years now. And still learning new things every day and learning new ways to apply the techniques.
So he cut away all the misconceptions for people to, get tangled into all the misconceptions.
Right.
And he also made it accessible for everyone who maybe be a little bit afraid of the hypnosis word.
Right.
Made it understandable for everyone what this really is all about. And he made something that might be ancient for some people to something modern, something that our society, our social skills can deal with, that whatever kind of country you're in, you will still get the benefit from doing this kind of hypnosis. Is that a good way to put it?
It doesn't matter where you are, because the people who were in our training were the first training I went through from all over the globe. They were from Europe. In fact, there's one person who's from Israel who is actually doing this work in Israel right now. All over Europe, all over the U.S., all over South America, even Southeastern Asia and Australia. Not that Australia is a big stretch for the English language, but
not really. But hey, mate.
But yeah, it really is accessible to everybody, and it doesn't matter where you're coming from, because we're not getting into the really crazy Ericksonian language and stuff like that. So it doesn't matter where you're from. You can apply this work in any language. In fact, a friend of mine is translating this into German and Japanese.
Wow.
So,
And I know for a fact, because what's even more interesting is when this training is going to take place. Because so far, what I know, people who contacted me, we're talking people from Denmark, of course, it's going to be in Denmark. People from Sweden, people from Norway, even German people wanting to know some more information about this. There's really a hype about this getting, in this part of the world and make it even more accessible for people to learn it also. Mm-hmm. So I guess everybody who's watching this right now, there's dates available close to this video right now, so you will get all that information. And this would be, I would call it an intimate training, because that's the way you teach people. I know that's the kind of way I teach people also.
It's the only way to do it.
Exactly.
And do it well. I don't expect to have 150 people in the room. It's going to be small enough that we're going to be able to take care of everybody who's there.
Yeah.
And in fact, one of my students from Norway is coming in, and he's going to be assisting during the training. So And he was a great student. He picked up on everything really, really quickly. So he's going to be a great asset to the training itself. But yeah, it's not going to be a huge training. We're not talking about 1,000 people in the room. I don't want to teach like that. Because I want people to be able to practice and get to know each other, get to work with different personalities, and because I want to stretch people a little bit, and this will stretch people a little bit. I plan to take some people out of their comfort zones and push them a little bit because I want them to learn as much as they possibly can within the training itself. So once they get out in the real world, they've already been through, errors and mistakes they might have made, and they know how to handle them once they get out there. So yeah, it's going to be a small, intimate training, and I've got a feeling we're going to have people from all over Europe, and who knows where else.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for the tricky part, that for now we are not sure exactly where it's going to be at, the exact location at, because it depends a little bit about how many people will actually sign up for this.
Sure.
But we can promise something, that it will be in Denmark. It will be on Fyn, in the town of Odense. So we will know that's going to be the place, but the exact venue we will get back to everyone who's watching and signing up for the exact place, and also might get some deals on accommodation and everything you need.
Right.
But also another thing, people might sit out there watching right now thinking, how much could this be? Because if this is so amazing, so awesome, the price must be sky high on this one, but it's actually it's actually not. Compared to what
it should be charging $10,000 for this.
Exactly. And we know people who charge way more and give the students way less.
Much less, definitely. I can think of one person in particular who actually charges $10,000 to learn the cookie cutter process.
Yeah, exactly.
And the only reason is because he's on TV a lot. But honestly, I've seen his work and I'm not overly impressed. So yeah, we're not going to charge $10,000. We're not going to charge $5,000. Not even going to charge $3,000. In fact, the base price of this training is going to be $1,997. That's $1,997 US dollars. But because people are watching this webinar right now, we're going to give a little discount. And it's only going to be for the next several days. So I'm not going to tell you when exactly it's going to be over, but I promise you it's not going to last long. Because we like people to take action. Really like people to take action. So the sooner you do it, the better chance you're going to have of getting in. Plus, we're going to add a little bit of a bonus at the end of the training.
That's true.
And we don't know exactly what that's going to be yet.
Surprise.
But what's that?
That's going to be a surprise.
It will be a surprise. But it's going to be something that will really benefit you in relation to what we've been doing throughout the conversational hypnosis training. It will be an advanced module. Who knows? Maybe I'll teach my stop smoking protocol.
Could be.
We'll see. I don't know. I can't give away everything. But there will be a bonus at the end of it. And people who sign up early are going to get a little bonus as well. And it's really going to be to your benefit to sign up. So $1,597 is going to be the base price. $1,597 for right now.
That's how low you actually go on this one?
That's what we're going to do right now.
Wow, okay.
So, if nothing else, that's going to pay for a couple nights of hotel for you just to have the discount. And you're still going to get an amazing training, I promise you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if people want to know a little bit more, I know there will be a lot of information on the website.
Yep.
But still, if people want to look up and see what you're all about, where can they find and locate you?
We'll put the link here on the video, but it's masterhypnosistraining.com. Masterhypnosistraining.com. And we're going to have a special page set up so you can go in and sign up for the Denmark training and get the discount. There will be a code that you're going to get. You'll see it at the end of this video. And all you have to do is apply that code. You'll get the discount as long as it's still there. So get in and register today. Really, you have nothing to lose. All you have to do is come to the training. And like I said, if you don't like me or you don't like what I'm teaching in the first day and a half, I'll refund your money, no questions asked. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your time in Denmark. And no hard feelings.
Final thing.
Yeah.
I will give you 30, 45 seconds.
Okay.
Like being alone with anyone watching this right now.
Okay.
Let them know why it would be a good decision to actually go and make sure that they will develop something in their life and they will actually go and succeed doing something brand new. So
Okay.
time is all yours.
Okay. Well, I studied hypnosis about 10 years before I found this work. And when I finally found it, it gave me a whole new set of tools to my toolbox. And what I saw after I learned how to do this work, when I went back to my office, the changes that I was getting from people was so much faster, so much easier, and so much more fun. Because I know that for a while there, I was getting a little bit of burnout in my work because I was doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over. It wasn't working for me. And this gave me flexibility. It really brought new life back into my work. And that's what I want to teach other people how to do because, and I've told you over and over and over that the work has to come from the heart. If it doesn't come from the heart, if we don't do this work with love, we're not doing good work for anybody. And that's the way you're going to hear this the first day you come in. That's what we're going to talk about because I want this to be done with a positive intention. And when you do the good work with positive intention, you can't go wrong. And the world needs more people to help other people change. So, all I can say is I encourage you to come in, go through the training, learn everything you can, and then go back out into the world and help make the world a better place for yourself and everybody else.
And Steve, we will see each other.
Indeed.
And you watching out there, hope I'll see you too, together with Steve, and see you out there.